I'm doing what I love.
I'm enhancing my career.
Studying here will get me my degree.
Apprenticeships have enabled us to develop our future employees.
I'm learning on the job, building my career.
I am returning to learning.
Walsall College has something for everyone.
Don't delay. Secure your place. Apply now.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Najit, and today I'm joined by Karen, who is one of our fashion tutors, and Kerry, who will be providing the sign language for us. So over the next kind of 20 to 30 minutes, we will talk you through what sort of careers you can get into and which of our courses can help you get into that career, into those careers, and also a little bit about progression. So if you're interested in university, that sort of thing. At the end of the presentation, you'll get a chance to ask us any questions using the chat box. Or if you do have any questions along the way, just pop them in the chat box. And when we get a suitable time, I'll ask that to the tutor. So now is a perfect time to apply for a course if you haven't already done so, and just to secure a place for September. Our courses can fill up quite quickly. We've had hundreds of applications through already, and we just want to make sure that we can get you in a good position to start. As we are in lockdown again, many of you might be worried about obviously no exams, what's happening with the entry requirements and all that sort of thing. Don't panic, please try not to worry. We will try and make sure that we can secure you on a place on a course that's suitable to your skills and your abilities, so that when your studies start in September, you're in a good, confident position. So without further ado, Karen, I'm going to pass on to you now.
Welcome to fashion. We've been running fashion. I was one of the first students on the fashion course at Walsall College, so I should know quite a lot about it. As we go through the presentation, all the work that is part of the presentation is work that our students have done and things that have gone on at college. So it's worth having a little look. Don't be too distracted by the pictures, but it will give you a little bit of an idea of the kind of work that we do at Walsall College in the fashion department. Now, we're very lucky at Walsall College. We've got several different levels of courses. So we've got things like simple introductions to pattern cutting. You can do that, you know, either as a hobby. However, a lot of our level 1 and level 2 pattern cutting courses have been really good for getting adults back into education. So a lot of those students who've probably had a break from working or want to retrain have gone on to the level 1 and the level 2, and from that decided to go on to a higher level course at Walsall College. So it does actually give you a bit of a springboard back into education, if that's something you're interested in. We have a BTEC level 3 extended diploma in fashion. That's generally, we get school children who have just done their GCSEs and are contemplating going to university. We also have a level 4 HNC and then a level 5 HND, and then we've even got a level 6 now. So we're very lucky, we're linked to Birmingham University. So you can do your whole degree at Walsall College. The fees are a lot less money than going to university. And we've got a really good team of people working on the degree. So every single level that you could want to study other than a master's, we do at Walsall College. On our study programme, it does cover for the people doing level 3. English and maths resits. Obviously these days that's very important to have your English and maths. Back in the day when you'd apply to university for a creative project, universities weren't particularly worried about whether you have English and maths, but it's getting more and more important to them that you do have those. So you would be expected to resit your maths and English if you haven't got them. On the study programme, we do a lot of live projects. We've got a lot of companies, some really quite high profile companies that have worked with us and set projects and work experience. We try and take you on trips. Obviously that's a bit of an odd one at the moment, so but we do really, one of the most important trips we do yearly is go to Graduate Fashion Week, which shows you what degrees around the country are doing with their fashion students, and they have a lot of well-known names there and catwalks, and it's a really good trip for us to go on. We also get guest speakers coming in, so the course offers a wide range of experiences to get you ready for the next step. Firstly, now this was very well illustrated by my child, who earlier asked me what I was doing tonight, and I explained to him that I was going to talk to a lot of people from different schools about what jobs there were in the fashion industry. And he was very much, he could only think of fashion designer. So for the next 2 slides, what I want to do is let you know that there's more to fashion and more to creative industries than just fashion designing. There's a huge amount of jobs out there for a range of different fashion jobs. So I'm just going to start off trying to illustrate how important creative industries is in this country. It's one of our biggest assets. It's one of the biggest job markets out there. So UK's creative industries contribute almost 13 million to the UK economy every hour. So that is a huge amount of money. The direct contribution of the UK fashion industry, including fashion suppliers and retail, as well as designers to the UK economy, was estimated at 32.3 billion. Obviously, that was in 2019. It's probably 10p this year. But the source also estimates that fashion supports 890,000 jobs. So as you can see, creative industries and the fashion industry, there's a huge amount of money there, and there's a huge amount of jobs. In the past, you would have to move to London to get yourself a job, but even things like that have improved, and because of what we're doing now using technology, you can work all around the world and get jobs all around the world and around the country, and not have to leave where you're from. So there's a huge amount of opportunity out of there. So the jobs, as my son says, there's only fashion design, but as you can see, there's a huge amount more than that. I'll talk to you about a few of the different jobs that you can get, but I'm also going to talk about some of the other things that you can get through fashion training. So there's lots of different areas of fashion. So you could have the production of raw materials, of the fabrics, of the printing and things like that. Goods made by designers, there's retail sales, there's advertising, and there's promotion. So it's a really big area. So you've got things like retail managers, who would be people like Marks and Spencer's. You'd have a retail manager for the fashion part of that. Sales advisors, obviously fashion designers, but you've got pattern cutters. There's a load of fashion journalism out there at the moment, with the internet being so important. You can get very well known by just starting your own blog, and writing different magazines that are online. Fashion stylists is a huge job. You can get fashion stylists that work in magazines, or if you're a famous person, you may have your own fashion stylist who decides what kind of clothes that you should wear that will suit you and for what occasion. I'm sure you've looked in magazines and it says the worst dressed. Well, there'll be somebody who gets a sack for that, because all of them have got fashion stylists, and you'll see the best dressed and the worst dressed. Fashion forecasting, probably you've not heard of that, but 4 years ago, a team of people would have discussed what's going to be in fashion in 4 years' time. When we see what's on the catwalks, that's forecasting what's going to be in your shops in 6 months' time. So fashion forecasting is really important. There's textile design. Textile design is in everything. Print design is in everything, from what I'm wearing now. I've got a floral outfit on, and then I've got tiger on. It's everywhere you look. A print design or a covering needs to be designed. Fashion photography, art direction. So a large company might want a certain look to all of their all of the things that they sell, so they'll get an art director. Textile technology, so that's kind of partly scientific, so that's takes a little bit more time to learn that. But this is just the tip of the iceberg about how many jobs there are out of there. So not only does my son think that there's only one sort of job you can get in fashion, I do notice that when I interview people, their parents always have some concern about what fashion going to get them in the future. Where is it going to get them? Is there jobs out there? And there is a lot of jobs. So this is a really good way of illustrating how much work there is out there. Also, though, you can start off in fashion. I started off in fashion working in London with different fashion houses. However, I also did some jewellery making. I ended up doing hair and makeup. And now, as well as teaching, I do a lot of work in interior design. So there's lots of transferable skills that you can take from learning fashion, and you can go into interior design, theatre design and costume, general photography, home accessories. You can be an artist. I do a lot of artwork as well. So there is a lot of work out there for you, and just going on the internet, you can find hundreds and hundreds of jobs and websites that can support you with that. So I've got a few case studies just to show you the kind of jobs that some of our students go into, and maybe show off a little bit, because we've got some really, really good past students. So in the main picture, you can see somebody called Kiko Haynes-Wheeler. I'm going to let you into a little bit of a secret. His real name's Stuart. So he's very expressive in how he looks. But he's gone on to do a lot of fashion work for very famous people. So I noticed recently he'd done some work for Madonna, and there's an image by the side of him that's Lady Gaga. He's done some costume work for her. He's done lots of photo shoots. You can see his work all over the internet. He's very creative. The photo of him that's on there now is a photograph done by an extremely well-known photographer as well. So he's doing really well. The second name is Luke Roper. I'm sure if you've been to the Bullring in Birmingham, you'll have seen Luke Roper's shop. He's also got different shops nationwide. So he's got one in Cardiff, I think. And so he's got them all around the country. He started off at Walsall College. Laura Dicken, I didn't want to embarrass her by putting a photo on because she would have told me off. But she's a local artist. She's gone into photography, and she helps different regional artists get their work seen. She does a huge amount of work for the Black Country and is very well known. So going from fashion to doing that is, you know, really interesting. We've got Robin Cooley. He was one of my first students, and he has got his own photography company now and is doing very well. And then Jennifer Sutton went to Fashion Capital, and she did lots of things like PR and a lot of things online, and it's doing really well. So we've got lots of students who've gone into the fashion industry in lots of different areas. So, and just because you're from Walsall or around the Black Country doesn't mean that you can't be seen and your work can't be seen, and that you can make some. I think sometimes people think that because you're from, I mean, Walsall's quite a deprived area, there's not a lot of sort of major fashion scene going on here. However, you can make it, and I'd like to encourage you to realise that, because it's very important to me. I'm passionate about showing students that they can work hard and they can do whatever they want. So why should you choose Walsall College to do fashion? Well, obviously me, partly. We've got excellent facilities. I've been to lots of universities. I went to the best university in the country, which is Central St Martin's, and their area looks like a dump compared to ours. We've got amazing facilities, CAD suites, print rooms, pattern cutting rooms, sewing machine rooms, and it really supports our students. They get a really good area to work in. We're very careful about our progression routes. In the second year, we make sure that we work really closely with the students so that they can do CVs and write personal statements so that they can go on to the progression routes that they want to. Tutors bring high levels of specialist knowledge, qualifications and expertise. Don't want to, you know, go on about how fabulous we are, but lots of the staff there, including me, have actually had experience in the fashion industry. We've not come from college and gone straight into teaching. I worked in London for 15 years with a lot of high profile designers, so all of us have got a lot of experience in our field, and a lot of us still are producing work. So we haven't just thought, right, we're just going to teach. We're all working hard as artists and designers, so I'd like to think that we've got a lot of expertise between us. And as I say, I think we're very supportive as a college, and I think that we've got a lot of knowledge and we've got everything that you would need, and we're very supportive and very friendly. So that's why I think you should come to Walsall College. Just a recap of the courses that we do and how you can go through the progression routes. And that's it really. I hope that's been useful, and I hope that's let people know that there's more to fashion than just being a fashion designer, even though that's a very good job.
Thanks a lot, Karen. That was really good. I've learnt loads of things off there as well. Some really good case studies, and you know, I guess for the first chap he spoke about having his work modelled or worn by Madonna and Lady Gaga, that's just like, wow.
It is, and like I say, it's really important for me to get over that just because you're from like a small local college that you can't grow and you can't do anything that you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that shouldn't limit anyone's talent, should it really? So brilliant, really good. I mean, obviously, because we're in lockdown and we can't get people through the doors, unfortunately. I mean, Karen touched on facilities. I'll see if I can just share my screen with you, and I'll try and share our virtual tour. Just bear with me. Okay, so hopefully you can see our website there. Can you see that, Karen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So on our homepage, to access our kind of virtual tours, if we go to locations, our fashion delivery is based at Wisemore campus. We've got a number of campuses that cover lots of different things. I'm just going to click on this. So this is pretty cool. You can this is the main atrium reception area in the Wisemore campus. So you kind of float around, have a look what's around you. There's lots of different links to videos and to our website for different things. It looks a little bit different now.
Making me feel a bit homesick. Makes
Sorry.
me feel a bit sad not being.
But again, yeah, you can look at things like the canteen, the library. I'm just going to click on fashion. So this is one of your rooms, is that right, Karen?
Yeah, it's fabulous. We've got really good professional pattern tables, and we've got amazing load of dummies. We're just really lucky. It's a really nice, clean, high-tech, spacious area to work in. It's got a good vibe.
I mean, you'd normally probably have lots of reams of fabric and cutting paper and stuff like that, wouldn't
Normally
you?
there would be stuff everywhere. That's the neatest I've ever seen it, because you spread all your paperwork out and you cut all your fabric out. So normally it's so busy.
Yeah. But I mean, you can watch back at a previous catwalk show from this room. You can click on the links here to get to the pages. The sewing room, unfortunately, haven't got a link through, but there's another room here which is kitted out, isn't it, with sewing machines? And is there anything else in there as well?
They've got industrial irons, which just sounds not very exciting, but it's really important that you learn with industrial irons. And they've got industrial machines, which is very different from what a lot of students might have encountered using domestic machines. So it's all stuff that will get you ready to work in the fashion industry properly.
And then there's another room, I think there's another room similar to this, just on the other side of the sewing machines room. So yeah, I mean, do pop on and have a look around the fashion facilities. I think as well you mentioned we use the print facility, kind of the print room. I'll just
yeah, the print room's really good as well.
So this would probably be one of the rooms, I guess.
So yeah, you can do all sorts of print work in there, screen printing, which we're really lucky to have the facilities that you can make your own screen and print off your own designs, and then you've got all the stuff for lino cutting and etching and all stuff like that. So it is brilliant, a brilliant thing. Or you can see some silk screens there on the table. So it's a really good area. We're really lucky to have such a big area for a college.
I don't know. These are probably, I probably wouldn't use these ones, but that previous room.
We do sometimes for live drawing, if we're doing some live drawing or any sort of large scale stuff, or if the fashion students are doing stuff with the art and design students, because they do collaborate with things. Particularly the photography students as well.
Yeah,
they do some work with the photography students.
We might have an image of one of our photography studios. So you've got kind of pull down backdrops, access to all the kind of equipment.
Yeah, so they do fashion shoots. They get together with photography students and they do quite a few fashion shoots, and they get to do styling and makeup, hair and all sorts.
So yeah, really good area there. I mean, I'll just quickly show the salon area as well. But again, yeah, so there's a lot of collaboration with other students across college as well, isn't it?
Yeah, when we have our end of year catwalk show, Hair and Beauty always get involved and help out with that.
That's gonna load. I'll just quit out of there. Oh, that's one of our. That's
where I'd like to spend some time having a sauna.
Oh, it's taken a bit of time loading these. Yeah. Yeah, again, if anyone's interested in what facilities we've got, please pop onto our website. I'm just going to show you how quick it is to apply if you haven't already done so. So from our homepage, if you scroll along to the second column, click on all subjects, and this is where we've got all of our subjects listed. So we've got everything from automotive, early years, fashion, health, all sorts of different subjects. Just going to click on fashion. So on here, to find out a bit more about the courses, you can watch some videos back. On the right hand side here is where we've got our courses listed. Just going to click on full time. I'll click on the level 3, and this will take you through to the course page. And this is where you can have a kind of read a bit more about what sorts of units, modules will be covered on the course, kind of careers information, entry requirements and so on. If you want to print it out, you can do, just click print and it'll print out everything including what's under the tabs. Or if you want to apply, just click the apply now, and it's a pretty simple form, about 2 or 3 pages. Pop your details in and then that will shoot off to our admissions team, and the admissions team will then send that on to the tutors. And Karen, are you doing telephone interviews at the moment?
Yeah, I did 4 or 5 this week. So what we do is we phone you, we go through some standard questions with you, then I shall be very nosy about your interest in fashion, and then what we get you to do is send us a little bit of your work by email. So you can do take photographs or scan work, but we ask you to send a bit of your portfolio work. Just so we can see where you're at with things, although that is quite tricky at the moment, I realise, because people aren't at school. But then generally just have a chat and get to know you. We do have open days as well where we can answer any of your questions. So it's all good.
I mean, if anyone who's watching, if you've got any questions, please do pop them in the chat box. We will be finishing off in a couple of minutes, so if you have got any questions you'd like to ask, please pop that in. I mean, Karen, you said there about portfolio, that sort of thing. If someone hasn't got anything or they can't get hold of their school project, I mean, would you recommend
it's not an issue, because what I can do is to make them feel more confident and to help them. It might be that I set them just one small piece of work and then they can send me that. So it's not a huge deal. Or it could be that if I felt that the interview wasn't as strong as it could be and they haven't got any work, what happens before the students finish for the summer holiday, we set a holiday project and we can see how things are going then.
Sure. Okay, I just had a question. How many courses can you take? Because it's a BTEC course, it would just be, it is BTEC, isn't it, Pearson? It's one course, so it's not like A-levels where you can do 3 or 4 subjects altogether. So if you were to do the level 3 fashion, that's what we class as a full-time course. And Karen, is it about 16 hours-ish a week?
Yeah, I mean, there is a huge amount of work. It's not easy. It wouldn't be easy to do another course, especially if you're retaking GCSEs as well.
Yeah.
But although you're not in like every single day from 9 till 5, the amount of work you have a lot to do at home. So I would suggest that it would be or really, unless it was some sort of part-time hour course that you did, but not a full-on course now.
I mean, it's important as well just to say the level 3 course, if you successfully complete it, it is equivalent to 3 A-levels. So you know, you still go to university easily if that's your goal. But yeah, that's a good question. We do get a lot of people asking us the kind of the differences between your vocational courses and your traditional kind of academic A-level courses.
I mean, even in lockdown, can I just say, even in lockdown, just before I started this video, I had a student sending me work. So that was like 6 o'clock. So, you know, they're still working now. I had people messaging me on Sunday. So it is a full-on course where people have to work long hours with it. So
yeah. Are there any exams?
No.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
it's all assessment based. So you don't have any exams.
So you set the projects and you just assess the projects. Okay. And things like equipment, would anybody need any sort of equipment ready for September?
I do think it's important to start getting yourself some sketchbooks, memory stick or key drive, everybody calls it something different. I think that's really useful for CAD. Also your own pair of paper scissors and maybe fabric shears is quite useful. However, we do try and have spare equipment for everybody, so just having a bit of art equipment at home is useful. However, if I set something simple, I expect to have the basic equipment for you to use. So if I set a denim project, with the college would probably supply the denim, but then if you decided to cover it in diamante, that's up to you. But in general equipment terms, I think just having a basic amount of art material is useful. However, I think at the beginning of each year you get a little pack of stuff that our technician stroke instructor sorts out, so you've got a little basic pack of stuff.
Good to know. I mean, you mentioned CAD there, so what sorts of kind of computer programs may the students might use?
Well, we do teach you a bit of Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator. We work with something called Kaleido Style and Kaleido Print, which is specialist fashion programs. They're really good. But also, I like to teach you on your phones as well, which might sound a bit strange, but I use a lot of apps on my phone, and I encourage you to use apps, and you could be doing work even when you're waiting for a bus. So we do a lot of stuff with things like, well, you can get Photoshop on your phone, but things like Mirror Lab and Glitch Art and things like that. So I get you doing stuff on your phones as well.
Oh, that's really cool. If you have got any more questions, please pop them in now, because we will be finishing in a minute. I mean, Karen, is there any sort of final things, any advice or anything that you probably have gone through all of it?
No, not really. Just make sure you contact us if you want to know anything. We're always open to talk to you. You can phone the college and leave a message, and we can phone you back. But I think it'd be really helpful if you come to one of the open days and you want to talk to us.
Our next one it's on Wednesday the 24th of March between 4 and 7. might potentially be a virtual open day.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to see what kind of work we're doing in the fashion department, if you go onto Instagram, we've got fashion department at Walsall College on Instagram, and we've got a page on Facebook, and it shows you lots of our students' work on there. So that might be good to see, you know, what we're doing. I update it all the time, to the point where I was nearly banned yesterday for spamming Instagram. So there's work being put on there constantly as well.
That's brilliant. That's really good. So I think we'll wind the session down there. If anyone does have any further questions, drop us an email or contact us on our social media. Our email address is info@walsallcollege.ac.uk. I hope everybody found that really useful. I mean, I learnt loads.